This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You are always scum. Rebel Scum.
Rebel Scum! Episode 355. We did the switch. It was seamless. We are here. I am Brock. This is
James. That's my alphabet challenge. If anyone wondering. Oh, Brock hitting the notes. Look at that. Yeah. I'm too late to that party, but me and my wife I'm pretty good at singing. I'm not gonna lie, and I've shattered a few windows and glasses in the house, so I don't even bother trying.
Well, if you look for me, I'll be at the Rebel Scum Podcast. That's the song. Hello, welcome to the Rebel Scum Podcast. We talk about Star Wars here. Hi, James. This is day 9 of the new Star Wars drought.
Yeah.
Have you done anything Star Wars this week?
Yeah, you know what I did on the weekend, if that counts. I don't know why, but we don't watch TV with our daughter, but we kind of like we're slowly kind of getting her into it, like slowly, like you can. So I don't know. On the weekend, I woke up early with her because she was wired. She wanted to make pancakes. She's very excited about making pizza. Like if you mention pizza, that's it. She demands her like stool to like lift up to the counter, and then she wants to do it from the. I don't know what it is, but like so she woke up excited for pancakes and pizza because we're making pizza, and I said, "Do you want to watch Star Wars?" Which I've said to her before, and she's like, "Star Wars." And I showed her a picture of Darth Vader. Said, "Do you know who this is?" She goes, "R2." I'm like, you know what? You tried. And so I put on the I put on the trailer. Aaron doesn't actually know this, but I put on the trailer for The Force Awakens, like just the trailer. I don't remember what trailer it was. It's the one that whatever I bought it on iTunes. So whatever the hell the one is on iTunes is the one that it was. There's a French one and an English one. I put the French one on first, and I was like, I don't know what they're saying. So I put on the English one. And it played, and it's a great trailer. Like The Force Awakens had all really good trailers, but that's besides the point. But the trailer ends, and not a word of a lie, the 2-year-old clapped. She clapped like yeah. She's like, I was like, I wasn't expecting that reaction. So that's basically the only Star Wars I've dealt with this, because after that we didn't watch anything, and we read like 20 Elmo books or something. But she clapped at the end, and I was like, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. Yeah, Mike, it is a complete day, exactly. And she did. We made pizza for dinner, and she was obsessed.
Yeah, like not shocking. She wants to make pizza, and she lives at your house. Yeah. Check out Razile Pizza Party on TikTok and or Instagram. That's cool, man. I was actually thinking during our start there, where Aaron reads the whole. Our opening sequence is like when Selena gets to an age where she can do, full sentences and you can tell her to say stuff. We should change it.
Suave.
And she should be in there. Maybe at the end or something. And then we'll always be like, thanks, Selena.
Yeah, she loves talking. So I think she's going to have a podcast in the next week or two. She's all in on, but like the Star Wars reaction though was very exciting for me, and then obviously the pizza reaction was even better. Like she went to have a nap, and she was like, "Pizza?" We're like, "Well, when you wake up," and she woke up and she looked at it and she goes, "Pizza?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go make some." And she puts on like a little apron, and
nice.
And I think that the honesty though, like she sneaks in like eating the raw dough, and it's like, stop it. Just stop it. She's like, I'm like, no, like we gotta cook it. So yeah, that's the when we get past that, it'll be a lot more fun. But like, because you got to keep your
Nice.
eye on her all the time, and she's like a little rocket. Like, what's
Yeah.
in your mouth? What's in your mouth? Dough. Okay. Yeah. She's obsessed with Play-Doh, so it makes sense that she would like pizza dough. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Nobody.
What are we talking about today?
Let's start out. You know what? We got 2 topics. One of them I don't even want to talk about. So let's talk about Henry Cavill first. You want to start with Henry Cavill? You go with
Sure.
that? Because the other topic just, I was like, we'll get to that topic. But
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, there's rumors going around that he's being eyed for a role in Star Wars. And my thoughts are, sure, okay. I don't know what movie. Like, I don't think they've said what movie yet. What it would be. I think people just like Henry Cavill and they want to pretend that he's being eyed for everything. And maybe, you know what? Honestly, maybe he is, because maybe they're eyeing everybody. But after the Ryan Gosling thing, I guess anything is, they're just going for whoever they can now. Like, Henry Cavill's a fun actor, but again, like Ryan Gosling, he's not a box office draw. So I don't know. Just go after Robert Downey Jr. Just put Robert Downey Jr. in Star Wars and have him play Iron Man, Doctor Doom, whatever in Star Wars, and people will be happy. But yeah, so anyway, Henry Cavill is being eyed for Star Wars. I know that your wife is a moderate Henry Cavill fan supporter. Yeah. She is I believe she's the president of the Henry Cavill fan club on Facebook, or MySpace.
She's the vice chair.
The vice chair.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Henry Cavill, but it's just like I don't trust any news of him doing anything with a franchise.
Yeah.
Outside of the fact that he wants to do this, or they are. I think they fully shot it. I know I've seen pictures of it, but the Warhammer movie, like, I know that's something that's happening. Yeah, but that's just him being a tabletop D&D guy. Like,
I don't even know what Warhammer. Like, is it weird that I don't even know what that is? Like, I've never heard of it until.
That's the exact correct reaction to what Warhammer is. But like, and I just feel like I'm sure I heard this in an interview with him, but I'm like, if you don't want to play Superman, why would you want to be in Star Wars? You know what I mean? Like,
I think he did want to play Superman, though. James Gunn just wanted to change it up.
Oh, that's right. There's a James Gunn. But I feel like before James Gunn came onto the scene, it's like, wasn't he sort of just done with DC as a whole, or is it just the old leadership?
I think he was coming back because Black Adam. He came back for Black Adam, and I think they were planning on doing more with him. And then the regime change happened because nobody saw Black Adam except for The Rock. And so I think he was done at one point because, I mean, look, I love Man of Steel and Batman and Superman, but Superman was like, he got shafted in those movies. Like, Justice League, he's in for 45 seconds. But like the Zack Snyder verse, whatever, that one he's still barely in it though. Yeah, it's like he's barely in those movies, and he's Superman, and he started it all, and it's like. I think he felt a little shafted. Like, he always seemed like separate too from all the Snyder stuff. Like, you see, like Affleck was really close with Snyder, and Aquaman, and one, like, they were all like, they all seemed to be like in Zack Snyder's corner, and Henry Cavill was kind of like not really, like, he was off to the side a little. Yeah, and I think he felt probably like, what the hell, man.
Oh,
and
then,
why
did he leave The Witcher?
He was his I think his contract was up, but really I think they deviated too much from the source material, and he's like
there you go,
source material and stuff, and I don't like, everyone seems to like Henry Cavill, but also he seems to be like too nerdy almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's like just maybe don't be so nerdy. But I still agree with him on Superman. Like, I think Superman. The thing with The Witcher is because, like, Hemsworth's taking over, and I know everyone's like, why? And I'm like, I don't really know if he can act either. But how Henry Cavill really did was did an impression of the video game Witcher. Like, it's like, it's not like he brought something new to the role that had never been in. Like, you're just doing the voice from the video game. Because when you read the books, I don't even think that's how he sounds in my head. He just sounds Polish, I think. But like, but yeah, it was I think he's just too nerdy, and he's got to like settle down the nerdisms.
Yeah.
But he's a new dad, so maybe that'll do it. But I like Henry Cavill. Like he's my favorite Superman so far. We'll see about Corn Sweat and his now that the internet hates him now for being Superman flying through the sky. But I don't know. Like I'm gonna bring this up from Vermont Mike here in the chat. No famous actors in Star Wars too distracting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that too. I don't know why you need lightsabers, Jedi, spaceships. What else you got? Whatever else you got. It's like the Star Wars speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need any of these A-list, B-list, whatever actors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I honestly, and I said this last week, Brock, Ryan Gosling, nothing against his acting. I think he can whatever. Sometimes he's great, sometimes he's Ryan Gosling. But like he's not a draw. Like Barbie made a ton of money, and the rest of them, like he picks good movies that nobody watches. I don't like. I don't know. I don't get it. It will be. I think he'll be distracting in Star Wars if he's not subdued like in Blade Runner or Drive or stuff like that.
Yeah.
If he goes like I didn't like him as Ken. I know I'm in the vast minority. He was nominated for an Oscar, but Oscars like to nominate overacting. I just wasn't happy about it, and I'm still gonna love the Star Wars movies that he's in because we're actually gonna get a Star Wars movie, and if that means casting Henry Cavill, Ryan Gosling, Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, I'm all in.
Sure. It's like it's these Star Wars movies that like you kind of have to be like, okay, that's that. I don't need big stars, right? Like it's if anything, like Billy D. Williams being like the most famous of that time of the originals is like, oh, that's the Colt 45 guy. Like it's just like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But like it's just like these. If you're basing it all, if you're gonna spend your money on these people that can charge how much, you know, I mean, because it's like it's Ryan Gosling. You can say whatever you want about his work. It's like everyone still knows who Ryan Gosling is. So it's like there's something in that, like based on what I don't know. But again, Henry Cavill. So it's like you don't want to be distracted by the fact that like that's Henry Cavill, right? I mean, Jude Law did a fine job, so maybe I shouldn't be that critical. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why. Well, no, I can understand. It's just sort of like, why are we getting all this information when like there's nothing created? Like, why can't you sit on the fact that we have somebody big in a Star Wars movie? Like, just sit on it. Like, who cares?
Well, I mean, Alec Guinness, Liam Neeson.
Okay, fair. Alec Guinness, yeah, he would have been the biggest person in the original trilogy, right?
Yeah, but was anybody in The Force Awakens big?
I mean,
I would say Laura Dern was kind of
Laura,
like Laura Dern. I would say is up there with Ryan Gosling in terms of popularity, maybe even more so than Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I mean they sprinkle them in once in a while. Well, I don't know. It's Ryan Gosling to me is a wait and see. Henry Cavill is kind of intriguing because he's British, and I don't know. Look, this can sound like whatever it wants to sound like, but British people in Star Wars, they go together like peanut butter and jam. You know, there's just something about the British accent in a Star Wars movie that's why Jude Law works, because you're like, yeah, that works. But it has to be juxtaposed with American.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's just like I think going back to what you said, it's like just make a movie. Just make the movie. It's like you can have all the like, you know, all the main cast plus, you know, who do we just say? Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot and a bunch of unicorns. Like, great. Just make the movie. Make it great. Fine. Like, it's just, I mean, the amount of people in Hollywood that are just in every single thing. It's just like, why don't we put Pedro Pascal in another character? You know what I mean? Like,
seriously. Like him and Ryan Gosling are in everything, and Chris Pratt voices everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's true. The one thing I will say is, yes, it's distracting, especially like now with like the casting decisions. But when the movie comes out, if the movie's good and they fit
Yeah.
the role, which they should fit the role,
Yeah.
we shouldn't notice Ryan Gosling. And I mentioned Drive and Blade Runner because I like those movies
Yeah.
because he's not Ryan Gosling in those movies,
Exactly.
and hopefully he's not Ryan Gosling in the Star Wars movie. But at the same time, I don't know what the character is or what this movie is. So maybe Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling should be in this Star Wars movie. I don't
Yeah.
know. I can't comment. I can comment on it from like an overall Star Wars fan perspective. Like Ryan Gosling doesn't fit in Star Wars, but I don't know what his role is. So maybe like
Yeah.
and if he's subdued, like I said, like he has that quality to him. But Henry Cavill. And who's a bigger star? I think Gosling, Cavill or Gosling.
Depends what day of the week it is. Like it just sort of. I feel like Gosling has been in the public eye a little bit more often in the last 2 to 3 years. But then,
Breaker High and Young Hercules.
Yeah, Breaker High, Part 7.
No.
We're on a boat. We're on a boat. But then the same note, they're all just sort of around at all times, right? So I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, making a movie, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, you know what? We've waited so damn long. I'm still mad at that article, Variety. I think it was Variety when they're like, the Skeleton Crew was pitched as a movie, and then they shifted to TV. Like that that annoys me. It just really, I don't know. As a fan, like it's like I just want to watch a movie, man.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah.
We talked about it last week. Like people want to go to the theater. It's weird. Like, and Tarantino had a thing where he's like, there hasn't been movies since 2019 or something like that. I'm like, yeah. But like, if you think about it, like Beetlejuice 2 and Wicked, and I'm sure there's another one, all came out, and within a month they were on digital.
Yeah, that's weird.
And those two movies were massive.
Yeah.
People wanted to go and watch those movies in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like 10 years ago, Beetlejuice 2 would have bombed. Like people would have been like, I don't care about Beetlejuice. What? But it's like almost like it waited just enough time. COVID kind of like it was just like this perfect storm. Mm-hmm. And that's nothing against the movie. I like the movie, but like people wanted to go and see it. It didn't matter if it was good the opening weekend. People went to go see it. They're like, I have to go see this Beetlejuice movie. And Wicked was the same thing. People were like, I need to go and sing and annoy the person next to me. And it like I don't know how Disney and Lucasfilm aren't like, oh, we could get on this train. Like they're waiting a year and they're going safe with Mandalorian and which I'm excited for, but they're going safe with Mandalorian and Grogu. Mm-hmm. And then whatever that Sean Levy movie is going to be, I think that's going to be the real tell of where Star Wars is in mainstream audiences is like how that movie's, how that movie performs, because that's going to be like, is Star Wars still Star Wars, or is Star Wars just a generic movie that plays? So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. Just make a movie.
Make a movie. I want to drive down to Mississauga to watch it in a snowstorm, of course, in May.
Of course.
That was the worst part of the Rise of Skywalker, was that snowstorm to get there, man. Freaking insane. We were supposed to go to the pop-up shop, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, not gonna happen. It took me like 4 hours to. Well, I was in the car longer to get there than I was in the theater. It was nuts. And Ron is saying the Rey movie is not happening. Mm-hmm. They better not announce anything at Star Wars Celebration Japan.
All right, so then let's get to our second topic.
No.
What happened?
The infamous Rey movie that Ron is saying will not happen. So I guess Rey isn't in the Sean Levy movie. I thought Rey was, but I guess that's not the case. So I guess she's only in the Rey movie now, which is weird. So I got this Hollywood Reporter article right here. This is an exclusive. Daisy Ridley Star Wars movie enlists writer George Nolfi, the scribe behind Ocean's 12, is latest to take on the new Jedi Order. And
Cool.
I saw this, and I think I threw my phone across the room. And I was like, cool, great. How about you don't tell me when someone's hired to write the script? You just tell me when they're shooting the damn thing. Because there's been 9 million people hired to write this thing. Nobody can seem to crack it. I believe there is an issue somewhere, and I don't know if anyone knows what it is, but there's an issue beyond just the script. Like, there's something that they can't figure out, and I don't know what it is. Because if you pitched, like, the way Daisy Ridley talks about it, Brock, is like, they pitched me this really great idea, and I was like, I have to come back. So if you pitched her a great idea, like, how hard is it just to put that into a script? There's something is missing. Like, something's up, and I'm starting to side with you. These two words, not happening, are really picking up steam. So anyway,
It's like,
I hate this news.
what was the pitch to her? It's like they slid a piece of paper across the table and she opened it and says $50 million.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then they rushed to announce it. It's like,
Yeah.
you could have announced it at this celebration. You could have announced it, and you'd still not have a script. It's like this is what really ticks me off about that last announcing though, is like, because they announced it, and I remember that celebration. Fantasia was over because we went to go see Mario Brothers that day. It was Good Friday. We went to go see Mario Brothers, and I remember waking up and I saw the news of the 3 Star Wars movie announced, and I was like, I'm not gonna get excited. But then I was like, you know what? It sounds like they've got a script for this Daisy Ridley movie. I guess and I was like tricked. And then like a week later, they're like, wow, Damon Lindelof was on it and he left in February. I'm like, but it's April and he left in February, and you're announcing like, what is happening? And his was like an old Ray, like Helen Mirren Ray.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, that doesn't even make sense. Like was it the night before the announcement of Celebration that Kathleen Kennedy called Daisy Ridley and said, look, we really need someone on stage. We really need, like, Filoni's not cutting it anymore. We need somebody. I just don't. I don't, like, you could announce it now. Like, this could be an announcement, and they'd still be just as far away from having a complete script as they were 2 years ago. It blows my mind.
It's like, it makes me think of it. It's like the writer's room on this, or whoever's doing it. Like, it's just like, it's like the scene from Seinfeld where they're trying to write a script. It's like, okay, you enter, you say hi, and I say hello. Then what? It's just like, it's like, you could probably ask AI to write a Star Wars movie faster, and it's like, you could just use your framework, because it'd be like,
yeah,
big ship comes into a frame, chases another ship, lasers, like Star Wars. That's like 25% of it. Like,
I just don't. So Lone Phoenix, probably hard to write a Palpatine Skywalker script, Rey Palpatine Skywalker. But again, like, for me, that would be the easy part. Would be like, you have this character who has a darkness in her, like, and conflicted, and then these new Jedi, and like, do they end? Like, imagine she's training a new Jedi Order, and they find out who her bloodline is, like, and they're like, do we trust this person anymore? And all of a sudden, they're conflicted, and maybe that's what turns one of them to the dark side. Like that's just a stupid idea that AI could have wrote, like you said. But like I don't understand how you have the best writers in the world, and none of them can crack the Rey Skywalker script. Like, it blows my. I'm gonna write one right now. You keep the podcast going, and I'm gonna write a 90-page script while we're doing this podcast.
Perfect.
Interior Star Destroyer. Darth Vader Jr. ascends from the darkness. But I don't get it. And like, you could have Ben Solo, Kylo Ren show up if you wanted, like, as a little Force ghost, being like, guess what? I wasn't there before, but I'm here now. Like, you could do we said this before, but it's a clean slate, Brock. Whatever the
Yeah.
hell they want to do, they
Yeah.
can do. The only thing that if there is a problem that I would accept is the villain, because you need to figure out who the antagonist is and what the threat is. Like if you don't have that, then that's the problem. But other than that, like,
I mean, like outside of like a Krennic character who wears mostly white the entire movie, it's like you just get a lone figure. Could be man, could be woman, whatever. They're in all black. They probably have a cool sword of some thing, a melee weapon. That's fine. And then you know what? No, would be crazy. Mask. Like it's just like there's your villain. Cool, perfect. Like I talk about the Nihil in the High Republic all the time. They literally wear masks for no reason, but it's just sort of like it's menacing when you can't see their faces. I mean, flip the script, make like this weird, like dark figure with a mask on. That's like, is this the good guy or the bad guy? And then it's Rey. Oh my god! Like, honestly, since they announced the Rey thing, I'm like, cool. I also don't care because it's just like, were we chomping at the bit for Reys?
No, I think that's the problem with a lot of people online. Is so Lone Phoenix saying, "What does Rey do now after 15 years? What's Rey doing?" But isn't that like, honestly, like that's how Kathleen Kennedy had to get J.J. Abrams to do Star Wars? Was, oh, don't you want to know what Luke Skywalker said? If he didn't want to do the movie, they should have moved on from him and got like somebody else. But anyway, like, yeah, what is Rey up to? Yeah. Tell me. And you know, you're not wrong. Like, I think. I'm trying to figure out how to word this because I feel like Lucasfilm, Disney, like whatever you want to call it, is overvaluing Rey at this point. Like they put, and they're based on these articles as well. Like they put too much stock in Rey. Like they feel like Rey is all that's left of Star Wars. Like that's what everybody cares about. But I don't think that's the case. I feel like she was on that trajectory, but as the sequels happened, people's interest, especially with the last one, people's interest in her kind of dwindled a little. Mm-hmm. But I still feel like you have a character, you have the new Jedi Order, which they keep saying there's going to be a new Jedi Order coming. You have the foundation for a really cool movie, but nobody can write it. And if nobody can write it, there's a bigger problem because people can write it. Like I guarantee you, all these writers they've had have written scripts. Yeah. Like they've all been complete. Now, I'm sure they haven't been perfect, but I'll bet you they've all been pretty good. But there's something is clogging the drain and they're not making this movie. They're not pulling the trigger on this movie. Now, I think part of it is Ron kind of mentioned how they had the idea for it and then Disney Plus kind of like the ratings on Disney Plus haven't been great, but they haven't been great for anything apparently. So I think Disney is having a lot of cold feet with it, but don't give them a giant budget. Give them a small budget. Be like, go make A New Hope. Just go make. I know that's easier said than done because that's lightning in a bottle. But like, well, actually, it's not because then he made Empire Strikes Back right after. But like, okay, just go make a stupid little simple movie with Rey. And you treat it like the very first Rey movie because if you think about it, it actually is the first Rey movie. This is going to be the first Rey movie where she's a fully fledged Jedi. She's a Skywalker, Palpatine, nobody, whatever the hell you want to like. She's her finally like, I know people don't feel like she was, but she's now this developed character that we haven't actually gone on an adventure yet or know anything really about. So you could treat this as the first time you ever meet this character because it's 15 years later also, which is a big enough gap where she would be a completely different person anyway. And you can go and do whatever you want. And I don't even know what they're doing. Yeah. Like the Sean Levy movie coming out before this is insane. Insane. Because he wasn't even announced at that celebration. He was like a year later. He was announced, and he's already got a script and already casting. It's wild.
I think they're just trolling us at this point because it's just like I can't even keep track of it anymore. So like, who is supposed to be making the Ray movie? Sean Levy, or Sean Levy was promised Ray, or whatever.
That's what I heard, but I could have. I mean, that's what I thought I read, but I might have just misread it and maybe not.
So
But it sounded like there was a fight for Ray. I don't know.
I just like honestly like I'm not impressed by any of these actors they're naming or any of these directors. Honestly, not because there's anything wrong with any of these people. It's just like cool. Like unless you announce George Lucas is coming out of retirement to write a thing, or we're like Dave Filoni's gonna write everything that is made for Star Wars, and he's got 10 scripts, I'm not gonna be impressed. Like just because those two men are like, oh, they know Star Wars, and not or not so much they know Star Wars, they just live Star Wars. You know what I mean? So it's like I can get behind that, right? Like it's just like, and I'm not saying new people can't come in and make it. It's been proven they can come and make new things and it works. But it's just like it's like I don't care about Sean Levy. I don't think about Sean Levy on a regular basis. Have I seen his movies? Absolutely, I have. But you know what I mean? Like it's just like so it all just becomes noise at some point where I'm like, well, like yeah, like why are they struggling? Like Ray could literally do anything. She's like, I'm gonna go get a coffee at the corner cantina, and like, cool, I'll see that. Like,
well, that's the problem. Is you're like all these directors come in and it's being treated, which is what we all thought was great at the beginning, but I think it proved to be wrong. Is it's all being treated like Marvel movies, like MCU, where they have the directors for hire come in, right? But Star Wars, I think Star Wars works like if you look at the Mandoverse, and just don't complain about season 3. We'll just talk about this because it works.
I don't complain about season 3.
But Skeleton, no, I know you don't. But Skeleton Crew, even up to Skeleton Crew, if you look at all of them, including Boba Fett, so it's look maybe there might be hits and misses, whatever. But my point is like if you look at that is like Jon Favreau is like I'm doing this. And I've said this before, so I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I have to. And then he hired a great group of directors. No one flashy, right? There was like they were all capable, and they all like, especially when you watch that first gallery, what's it called? Gallery, the first season of Gallery that they did, and they're all sitting there like nerds. Or I guess Taika Waititi was a little flashy, but they're all there like nerds, and they're all just like believed in that season of The Mandalorian, and they were all in on it. And then season 2 was kind of the same, and then 3, and like, but you see, like the same directors keep coming back, and like they add a few here and there. But like, I feel like the movies need to be treated more like this, where you have whoever's here, and they have like their 10-year plan, and they just get your group of like they already have them with the Mandoverse, those super talented directors there, and just make movies. Because I think part of the problem too is movies have changed drastically since 1977. I mean, they've changed drastically since 2008 with Iron Man. Iron Man's what changed it all. Was all of a sudden everything. Well, I guess the Avengers is what did it. Where you're like everything can connect seamlessly, and there's no more trilogies. There's no more quadrilogies. They're all just like ongoing universes now, and everything does it, and we all get tired of it when they're like it's a shared universe, but it works, and that's what that's what viewers want. They almost want television on TV, or
they do.
Could you imagine? They almost want like, but it's like the serial on like the one through line story on the big screen. Like that's what they want. Even like that last phase of the Marvel stuff, people were just like, well, how does it all connect? I don't know how it connects. I'm like, does it matter?
Yeah.
Can't they just be individually good movies? I don't get it. And I haven't seen most of them, so I don't know if they're good or not. But like, but that was like, I don't get it. Like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor did not connect. They had little things here and there that like,
yeah, exactly.
But people now are conditioned. Like movies have changed so much. People are conditioned that they want they want to go in. And I think this is what's hurting Disney Plus as well with Star Wars. Is like people want to go in and be like, how does this affect that? And I think that's what they want. I think that's what hurt. I think Skeleton Crew's doing better because it was a good show. But I think that's what kind of hurt it going into it, other than like the backlash from the accolade and stuff, was people like, well, how does this connect to anything? Like, why do I? It's almost like this, like, why do I care? And we talk about this all the time too, Brock. Is there's so much content out there. There's so many movies, so many TVs. Erin's watching a show that was 3 years old. I told you when she was pregnant, she watched a show that was 5 years old and was on for 5 years. Now she's watching a show that's been off the air for 3 years, and there's like 60. I'm like, there's just too much.
Yeah.
She's like, too much is, but like, there's just so much that people want to know when they watch something, that there's like a comfort in it, and they want to know, how does this all connect? And I think they need, for the movies, I think it's great that Sean Levy will do it. It's great that they're going to get this Ray movie. It's great that we're going to get all these wonderful movies. But if they don't connect in any way to each other, will they lose the general audience?
I don't know. It's like, I think it's just, you come at it from all these different angles, and it's just like, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. You know what I mean? Like, up until 2 months ago, if you're like, musicals don't do well in the theaters, you'd be like, haha, oh yeah. But it's just like, who knows what it is that grabs people, right? So it's just like, you make a Star Wars movies that doesn't really have to do with another movie. It's like, it's kind of funny because like, we get wrapped up in it, but just like, if anything, a movie that sort of like exists in something else, it's like, well, you'll enjoy this if you've watched this movie, or like, you'll understand this movie if you watch another one, which I know Marvel isn't always that, but it's just like, I think people get freaked out. They're like, oh, you might have to watch the 10 other movies. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't think you can pinpoint what audience is like. You know what I mean?
I think the movie is one thing, but I think when you start to incorporate television into the movies, I think that's when people are really turned off.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that happened with the Marvels, right? When it's like, why do I have to watch these shows? I think that's what happened. And people are just like, I don't want to, like, people were calling it homework. Like, I don't want to do my homework. But then again, when they bring out other movies, they complain that they don't connect in any way. It's like, I don't think anyone really knows what they want. My point is, and I'll use this example again because I've used it before, but it's The Last Jedi and Rogue One, when they mentioned the Kyber crystal, and there was a rumor that you would, and I was really convinced, because there was also the rumor that you're going to see a Kyber crystal in The Last Jedi. And so when they talk about it in Rogue One, like, because I remember I had some friends, and they're like, I don't really understand the Kyber crystal thing. I'm like, you're going to get it in The Last Jedi. And they didn't. And I think that's what they need to do, is they just need to, like, if something's mentioned here, mention it here too. Like, don't be afraid to, like, have, not like characters. It doesn't have to be characters, but just have little things bleed into each other and cross like that, and just be like, okay, well, this is mentioned here, so let's mention it there. And just so that it feels like the world, it's like the same world. That's what it has to feel like, the same world. So like,
yeah, oh yeah.
And I think that's when people get lost, is like when it doesn't so much. One of my other favorite examples is one of my favorite books of all time, The Outsiders. I don't know if you're familiar with S.E. Hinton's classic essay, but there's another book called That Was Then, This Is Now. Have you read that one? That Was Then, This Is Now.
No, we've talked
about Oh my god. But Pony Boy shows up, right? Yep. Oh, you gotta read both. You gotta read The Outside. But anyway, Pony Boy shows up in that one for like, just kind of comes out of like, I think like a bar or something. It was like, hey guys, I'm Pony Boy. And goes back in. And I'm like, and I remember as a kid reading it, I was like, that's genius. Like, I was like, that's brilliant, because you're like, it's the same. And it's just like I feel like they just need little touches here and there, just to make us feel like this is all one world, and these all, even though they don't connect, they all, like Lost Stars was so perfect at it. Like, it's such a separate story, and then all of a sudden Leia's there, and all of a sudden you know where the original trilogy is. And like little things like that, like they need to be cognizant. Like they always say, we know where this ship is and that ship is. Well, tell us. Like, tell us where they are. I don't care. Like, why do you have secret? Don't keep secrets from us. Give us the information so we feel like we're a part of the storytelling world.
Yeah, we like to be little detectives. We're like, this is this. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know. when we start talking about this, it's like, what does it matter? We're not getting anything. We're not even getting any TV anytime soon. You know what I mean? Which is probably good.
Andor.
I know, but like, I don't know, man. It just feels like, and then what's after that? Unclear. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
it's Ahsoka in like 2 years. Yeah.
yeah, like it's just like, which is fine. I don't know. I start to go in this circle where it's like, well, maybe I don't want to watch a ton of things, which is not true. You make a Star Wars thing, I will watch it at some point. Like specifically for this podcast, it's so easy. But it's just like at the same note, like I've said too, that is like, oh, it would be nice if every like 3 to 4 years you get a Star Wars movie and then we take a break for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're like, yeah, Star Wars. I don't know.
No, they're in a. I mean, this is the other thing too. Is like you said, like they used to have those breaks, and now we're in this new era where we just get the stuff shoved in our faces, and it's not all gonna. And you said this before anybody hated everything, but they're like, at some point, we're not gonna like something Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then and I think people just have like this ownership of Star Wars because they've loved it for so long that it's like when they don't like it, all of a sudden it's like, you ruined my life. Everything I believed in is a lie. It's like, chill, man. I still have the original 6 movies on Blu-ray, and if I don't like those new 3 or 5 or whatever the hell they are, I've got those 6 to go on. And I own the other ones too. Don't get me wrong, but like I have that. But and my daughter loves the Force Awakens trailer, so guess that's her favorite Star Wars movie. She clapped, Brock, like she was genuinely like excited, and I think it ended with like lightsabers. I'm telling you, she likes lightsabers. I don't. She's violent. She's very violent.
Could it just be the fact of like, here, look, there's things on the screen. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I've shown her like other things like subtly. She hasn't. Like she reacts to some stuff, but the clapping she's never clapped before. She's never clapped.
She's like, whatever it'll take for you to make pancakes.
When we watched Rudolph, like the short and the Coles Notes version of Rudolph, she was pointing at all the rain because she loves reindeer and snowmen. I told you at the end of it when Sam goes like isn't in it for a while, she's just like, "Where's the snowman? Where's snowman? Where's snowman? Snowman gone? Where's snowman? Like he's coming back. This movie's about Rudolph." I just hope we get movies, and I don't care if it's Rey or Luke again or Finn. I would love more Finn. If somebody could write Finn, I would love more Finn. But I don't want to see Finn written by, no offense, Ryan Johnson anymore. Like I want somebody that can really write Boyega strong. And I mean, also look, Rise of Skywalker, all he does is yell Rey for like 2 hours. How much screen time does he have? 15 minutes, and 7 of them are him yelling Rey. I would like to see him. I think that's a character that really could be developed more too, because he was a stormtrooper who like was brainwashed basically from a young age. A lot of propaganda. And then all of a sudden one day he's like, whoa, blood on my, I don't know, man. Like, show me more of that guy. Let's go more into that. But I don't know. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but I feel like in movies, they're just not invested in characters like they used to be. TV shows are invested in characters now, but like movies are like, let's just get this going. Let's get it going. And you're like, no, I kind of want to learn this. No, we got to keep going. We only have 4 hours to tell this movie.
Did you see The Brutalist is 3 hours and 30 minutes? I looked, I was like, what is this movie about? And then I saw 3 hours and 30 minutes, and I'm like,
oh, you did the hey on Major. You did the Wicked challenge. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't make movies for less than 2.5 hours nowadays. Otherwise, it just doesn't. I honestly don't understand. Whatever. You know what? No.
Yeah. I mean, I started watching was Back in Action tonight with 3M, the return of Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Looney Tunes Back in Action. I got very excited.
No. That's a Looney Tunes : Back in Action, and I'm like, This is a fine movie. It's almost 2 hours, which I'm like, but we watched an hour. I'm like, this isn't terrible. But it's also on Netflix, so it's like, again, we're aiding the reason of not putting anything out. I don't know.
Yeah, I try my hardest not to watch Netflix movies because every time I do, I get very upset with myself. Very upset. I watched Blink twice. Blink again. Blink with Channing Tatum,
Oh yeah,
directed by Zoe Kravitz.
don't blink.
Pretty good. Don't whatever it's called. It was pretty good. I will say this though. So Erin was like, "I want to watch a movie." I said, "Okay, put on whatever you want." She goes, "Oh, what's this?" And so it was on Prime, I think, and the trailer played, and the trailer starts with a line. I won't tell you what it is. And then we're watching the movie, and I'm like, and the line from the trailer is in my head. I'm like, well, when does that happen? The end of the movie, the trailer ruined the end of the movie. I was like, at some point, this is going to happen, right? And the movie was going. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, that's how it ends. And that's how it ended. I was like, you're kidding me. Like, so Erin forgot, like, because she wasn't paying attention. But I'm like, because halfway through it, I'm like, this would be better if I didn't know that was coming at some point. Because now we've gotten to a point where it's too far. Like now I'm like, at some point I think it's like halfway. You're like, this is how it's gonna end. Is that word line from the trailer? Anyway, that annoyed me.
Yeah. Have we beaten this dead horse enough?
No, it's not. So Ray Skywalker. Let me tell you the story for Ray Skywalker.
Possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to you by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast.
Rebel Scum.
If you like what we do, why don't you head on over to patreon.com, put a slash in, and then write Rebel Scum Podcast, lowercase, no spaces, and support us in any way you can. We would greatly appreciate it because we like to talk about Star Wars. Oh, yep. I'm not looking at you, so I was like, what? We like to thank the following people who think we're just the best. Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Studer Thrawn, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aiton, Dale Erdman, Phil Staniforth, Rez, Scott D,
Josh Price, Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Denim Nerds, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Ron Prasek, and Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate all of your support. And to everybody in the chat, thanks for stopping by today to talk Star Wars. Never tell me the odds. First odd, the Rey movie will happen. The Rey movie will happen, Brock.
50-50. Full Brock. Like, question mark? And like upside down question mark, like Spanish at the beginning and at the end. Yeah. What?
Oh, wow. Ron, higher than I thought. 1% from Ron. I'm going to go full Brock as well because I feel like, and I've said this for 2 years now, this movie's a no-brainer to me. Mm-hmm. I feel like if I could, I honestly am not even joking. If I sat down, I could probably write something right now. It'll be in my next book called Cape Side Bay 2, the Rey movie. You can check that out on Amazon. Lone Phoenix is also 50-50 on it. I just feel like this movie shouldn't be that hard. Like, figure out who the bad guy is, have Rey go up against the bad guy, and have her Jedi Academy kind of lose faith in her because she's a Palpatine. Like, it's very easy. Very simple. You know, the thing with A New Hope, we said this, I think, last week or the week before, is that's the most simplistic movie ever made. There's not a whole lot going on in A New Hope. And that's not an insult. That's part of the genius of that movie, is it's very simple. You can follow that movie at any point. Heidi's also at 50.
Nice.
I think a movie that has Rey as a cameo is necessary. Yeah, I mean, she's... I don't know how you just don't utilize Rey at all. But I also don't know how they make some of the decisions they make. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Our next thought, more Star Wars movies will be announced at Star Wars Celebration Japan.
I mean, I want to say like 100% because it's like, what are we going?
Wow.
Like, why are we going to Japan? Like, Lucasfilm is in the States, right? It's just like they go somewhere in the States. It's not that huge of a deal. They went to Japan. Like, what are you doing?
Wrong. Yeah, but what? Like,
I don't know,
I
man.
would. I don't even want to give an odd for this one because I feel like they will announce something BS. I would rather them just be like, here's the trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu. Here's the plot of the Sean Levy movie. And here's Daisy Ridley to talk about the movie that's never going to happen. I would rather that be like all they do for movies than anything else. I don't want them to be like, oh, we hired whoever the flavor of the week is that, whoever next month they love. It might be John Chu for all I know. They might be doing the musical, Star Wars the musical. I don't know who the flavor of the week is right now, but I just don't want that announcement. I just don't need it. I don't care for it. I'm over it. I'd rather them just be like, here's what I would love if they're like, here's a trailer. The movie's done. It's coming out next month. Cloverfield Lane, man. That was the greatest marketing of all time. Trailer came out of nowhere. I remember being on Twitter that night and everyone was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what are you talking about? Greatest thing ever. Zoe Kravitz to direct. You know what? She didn't do bad. She did a great directing job. But no, definitely not. So I don't want to give an odd, but I'm going to go 51%.
Okay.
They'll announce 5 movies. And our final odd today, Andor Season 2 will be better than Andor Season 1. Andor Season 2 better than Andor Season 1.
I hate, like, putting an expectation on anything Star Wars now because it's just like
it's not expectation, it's an
people
odd.
are gonna be pissed regardless. You know what I mean? Like, I like Skeleton Crew, but there's probably a lot of people that didn't like Skeleton Crew or didn't even watch it. So it's like, if you bring back all the same things from the first season, I think you're gonna win no matter what. And now it's like people were interested in something that was slightly different for another like a typical Star Wars. It's like, well, why don't we whatever? And then also it's like, again, it's like, well, we know what's going to happen to these characters. So there's only so much you can do. My optimism is I think it's going to 80% be better than the previous season. So just like you set up a whole bunch of stuff. Now you can like just play it out.
Yeah, I'm going to go 71%. Mostly optimistic. I hope it's not worse. God. I don't. But season 1 was, I don't know if it was a surprise or not, but it was real. I think the cinematography was a surprise. So I'm really curious what they're going to do. But everything we've seen from it so far, which has been very minimal. Again, there's no marketing for anything they're doing. They're like, why is nobody watching? Why is nobody watching? We didn't tell anybody we were putting it on. Why isn't anybody watching?
Like, you didn't see all the heads up on Disney Plus? Didn't you see the trailer they dropped on Disney Plus? No, because if I don't have Disney Plus, I can't see that.
Yeah, they're just not. I don't know. Even Skeleton Crew, I love that show, but like the marketing sucked. I mean, the marketing was great. Like what they were doing was great, although I don't think it was effective, but it was cool. But it was so late in the game. I was like, all right, cool. Like nobody cares. Yeah. We're giving Lone Phoenix hope. Because Lone Phoenix was only 30% on being a better season. I feel like, you know what though? Honestly though, the reason why this could be a better season is because it was part of the plan, right? Like they already had like Skeleton Crew. I said this before, but like they knew how this was going to end. Obviously Rogue One, but they knew where they were going, so they had like this whole plan. So I feel like that's what's going to help it be stronger. Is that it's not like they're making it up as they go along. Like it's all part of the process, and obviously things get added here and there. But anyway. Yeah. So those are our odds today. Thanks everybody for playing along in the comments or in the chat. And if you guys have and you're not watching live, let us know in the comments down below. And now we'll go to
Top 5.
Top 5 standing by.
Top 5. Stand
Wait,
by.
you know what? We should do What Up Star Wars.
What?
I feel
up,
like
Star
news.
Wars?
I feel like news dropped.
What
Rosario
up, Star
Dawson is
Wars?
attending.
Oh, yeah, that's not new.
That's old.
Yeah.
I'm at Best Joy Star
That's
Celebration.
not new.
Fuel your fandom with Star Wars Power the Force product campaign. 2 days old. Star Wars, nothing's up.
Yeah.
Nothing's up with Star Wars.
What up, Star Wars? What up, Star Wars?
Is anyone from the Acolyte showing up to Celebration Japan?
I'd be surprised.
I would say, I would be, except I wouldn't be surprised if Kymir was there.
Mm-hmm.
He's done some stuff. Okay, so hold on. I'll tell you who's going to be there. Ahmed Best, John Knoll, Diego Luna,
Yeah.
Sam Witwer, Mads Mikkelsen, Alan Tudyk. Manny Jacinto is there. Daniel Logan. So Kymir's there. Anthony Daniels, Tamara Morrison, Doug Chang, Ashley Eckstein. That's who's going to be there. So yeah, so Kymir, sticking Kymir around, man. They're keeping Manny Jacinto in the fold, which I know it doesn't mean anything, but I feel like it might. And like, I guess he's the only one on that show that didn't get backlash. Also, I guess maybe Saul didn't either, but I think everyone, even people who hated the show, were like, the bad guy was cool. All right, here we go. Top 5 live action Disney Plus Star Wars shows. Couldn't think of a freaking top 5. Very last minute. Season 1 only, Brock. Season 1 only.
Season 1 only.
Season 1 only. Kenobi. I'm gonna go with Kenobi number 5. Kenobi number 5. The show had a lot of weaknesses, like too many for me, but it had a lot of really cool lore building that I really dug, and then the Anakin and Vader stuff was awesome.
I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put Acolyte number 5. It was either that or Ahsoka, because I'm just like, I like what's happening here. I like what's happening, and this will go. I mean, if you want to change it to Ahsoka too, it's like I like what's happening here. You don't really stick the landing, but I'm like, I'm engaged, and it's like this is cool. Just like give me more, or give me an ending at the very least.
My number 4 is arguably the best Disney Plus series. It's the Book of Boba Fett. Arguably the best one. I will not listen to anybody say otherwise. Book of Boba Fett. You know that I love Book of Boba Fett, but it should have been a movie.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend. My number 4 is also Book of Boba Fett, because I'm like, that was fun. I loved it.
It knew where it was going. I mean, they threw the Mando stuff in there. Again, if you don't call it Book of Boba Fett and you call it Star Wars, I don't think people complain as much when Mando. My number 3 is The Crew of Skeletons. Even though it lacked skeletons throughout, there were only a couple in the entire show. But I love Skeleton Crew. I thought it was a great time, and that's my number 3.
I'm gonna get a sneaking suspicion we're gonna have the exact same list, because number 3 is what did you just say? Skeleton Crew.
No, our number 1 and 2 might be swapped.
Maybe.
Do you want to say it at the same time? You want to say on the count of 3?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, and then we say it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Then we say 1, 2, 3. Andor. All right, Andor it is. Andor is I think it's the best looking show that we've gotten. I know there's a lot of people who don't like it, who find it boring. A lot of people who loved it, and a lot of people who liked it but didn't think it felt like Star Wars. I just thought it was refreshing because it was different. Also, but it looked so good. I was just like so into the cinematography. I don't even care what's happening. This is great.
I mean, I think I sent you a clip last week where it's the scene where Stellan Skarsgård is running from things, and his ship just looks like a cargo ship, but it's actually like tricked out to like just decimate them. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this scene, because all we do is think about everything that has to do with Diego Luna in that show, and it's just like that was pretty sweet. Like
And I never think of the action in that show because
Yeah.
there's not a lot, but like, yeah,
No.
that was. I think I wrote down like underrated scene because I was like, I forgot about this, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's definitely. We should have done 5 underrated. 5 underrated scenes.
Yeah.
And number 1 is the Aka Mandalorian.
The ship that started it all. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I mean, it's
I
kind
love
of hard to
Mando.
not have him number 1, right? So
Yeah, I know people don't like the 3rd season. I love the 3rd season. But when I did the rewatch of part of the 1st season, I've only watched Boba Fett and Mando season 1 multiple times, and I've watched season 1 more than twice. It's so good. It's so fun. It's so Star Wars. It's like, it was like, remember, like everybody hated Star Wars, and then Mandalorian came out, and it reignited the fan base once again. We're all like, yeah, Star Wars is great. And then the Rise of Skywalker came out, and hell broke loose.
yeah,
Mando, love it. Those are our top 5. Let us know what your top 5s are in the comments down below. All right, well, that's episode 355 of the Rebel Scum podcast. 355. We are halfway there, Brock.
halfway there to 400 in 2 to 3 years. I mean, a year. I was like, we do this once a week, right?
Yeah, but if we doubled it up, we'd be a lot further along. We should do this 5 times a week. We should make it a daily. We should do a daily show, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Slowly just losing our minds.
I think that's why. Well, during COVID, we did every lunch hour. Remember?
Yeah.
And full disclosure, we lost a lot of subscribers.
Oh yeah.
We did trivia every lunch during COVID for like the first. It was a while.
Yeah.
We were going nuts. There we go. Automated Joy, living on a prayer. Oh, we're halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now that YouTube has taken away our monetization for my lovely Bon Jovi impression, let's wrap this up. Brock, anything else you want to say with that awesome Venom t-shirt?
Yes, and it has to do with what I was going to say. I watched the first 15 minutes of the new Spider-Man show on Disney Plus and loved every second of it. And
I've heard it's good. I'm gonna check that. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The voice actor got in trouble because he said something, and I'm just, Anthony Mackie got in trouble for saying something, and I'm like, remember when celebrities only would go on like the Tonight Show, and like they should maybe just stick with that. Like, no more Q&As, no more interviews on new. Like, just be like just go on those things where you can like fix the questions, and that's everything.
Yeah, dance, monkey, dance. That's it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Is the whole show up, or just is it episodic?
There's two episodes up. They're weird. It's like 2 episodes this week on like today, and then like 4 next week or something like that. I'm like, what are you doing? This is like, oh, we only have so many time slot on our streaming platform. Like, just put an episode out once a week. Like, like
here. Either like put it all out at once or do it weekly. Like, don't mess around with my emotions.
Yeah.
I want to check it out. I love Spider-Man, so like I'm like, ooh, I'm interested in this. Although I will say Harry Osborn's man bun was kind of turning. I saw a clip and I'm like, why does he have a man bun?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's a secret to unlocking. Do you think he could be like a mysterious villain?
He's got a face on the back like Professor Quirrell in Harry Potter. It's that's why it's covering it. It opens up like a Cabbage Patch doll, and there's a face like, hello.
Are you serious?
No.
I was like, what?
And that is storytelling. Star Wars, hire us.
Hire Brock to write the damn movie. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Anything else, Brock? Or is that it?
No.
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 Or no. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a like and subscribe. Until next time, Brock, we're always Scum.
Rebel Scum.
Bags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.